now I'm using my lurkers to target that one gateway, and just in case he has observers coming out early and he's going to storm, I just want to get these gateways down as fast as possible, and that way he has to put them back up and they're not producing for him anymore. And what I'm going to do soon is I'm going to rally. I already got my +1 carapace. Now I'm getting +2, and I'm going to rally all of my hatcheries outside of his base, so all my zerglings are going there. And then I'm going to try to get my third expo going, and here it is. So I'm going to rally all my hatcheries outside of his base, and then he's going to try to, there's his observers coming out. So, but I got more lurkers coming, and if he pushes into this, all his units are pretty much dying here. So he's still contained. I got overlord speed as well. And as soon as I get my third base up, as soon as the hatchery comes up, that's when I get my second evo chamber. That's just the timing I'm used to. I'm not sure what the standard timing is for that. So here, just keep making zerglings and get the third expansion up. Gas first, and here I'm gonna get Hydralisk attack just from my range, actually, because I was thinking I was gonna go after I got my third up. I was gonna go Hydra lurk, third gas, and then get my fourth gas immediately, because Hydra lurk is a very gas heavy build, and you need like 4 bases to be able to support it properly. Otherwise, you have way too many minerals, not enough gas to be able to support it. But anyway, I got my hive coming, so I decided against that, because I'll have adrenaline glands soon, and +3 carapace soon, and then ultralisk as well as coming. And once the ultraling is in full effect, and here I'm going to try to take this out, and these 12 zerglings are worth sacrificing if I could get that one high templar down, just because they're worth it, just because the high templar can keep coming out if you don't kill it, and keep actually storming, and eventually as it gets enough storms up, it's going to kill more than 12 zerglings, and then it's going to morph into an archon, and the archon can kill more than 12 zerglings, and so on and so forth. So picking off one high templar at the cost of 12 zerglings is sometimes it's worth it, especially if the high templar has like 2 storms in it, or maybe if they have the upgrade like 3 storms in it. So when he comes out, every time he comes out, when he brings his high templars, I try to target his high templars. And here he's going like a lot of goons to be able to deal with the lurkers, but then he's not gonna have much to deal with the lings. So all this really is me trying to delay him and trying to surround his and get hits off on his goons as many as I can, and just keep making lurkers and zerglings meanwhile. And here this is kind of stupid. I thought I could have killed this easily. I don't know what the hell happened with that many and I targeted and has like 7 health left, and I was like, that was a stupid move when I did that. But I thought I could have killed it, and that would have prevented that storm and that lurker dying. So now he's trying to come out again, and I need better separation on my lurkers, and so I'm going to separate them a little bit more, so one storm can't hit more than 1 lurker at a time. So adrenaline going up. That should have gone up as soon as I had the hive tech up. That's one of the most important upgrades. So here again, just keep beating him back constantly. Even if he somehow breaks all these lurkers and comes out, he can't do anything with those goons. I just have way too many zerglings for him to be able to deal with them. And now's the timing for me to put down my second hatchery at my third expo, or my second expo. So I'm gonna put that down, and basically just keeping my mineral count as low as possible. I did sacrifice all those zerglings to kill that high templar. It was worth it though, in my opinion. Zerglings, economy-wise, it's not worth it because that many Zerglings, 12 Zerglings, you're talking about 300 minerals. But as far as that Templar and Storm-wise, I mean, to me it is worth it just because Templar, one Storm can kill a lot more than 12 Zerglings, and I can't stress that enough. You have to pick off Templars. You can't just let so I'm gonna just keep pushing them back here constantly. You can't just let Templars keep building energy and keep storming, because that's a cheap resource for him. He never has to make any more Templars unless he morphs them into Archons, which Protoss players normally do right after they run out of Storm. They morph them into Archons, or if he just keeps them and just decides to keep storming. So here he's trying to make like some type of a push out, but I got way too many, and I'm trying to get some type of a surround on it. So he's going to leave his High Templars out here in the open. So if he's going to do that, then I'm just going to target his High Templars. And I'm going to get this one too, just because he didn't run it, and this goon's going to die as well. So now I wiped his force once again, and now he's coming out with Zealots, and there's really, at this point, he's lost the game. There's really nothing he can do. The only thing that he could have done is gotten a shuttle and gotten that third base, but and I should have, one thing I didn't do in this game that you should always do is after the Corsair harass is done, you want to select all your overlords and spread them throughout the map, just so you have vision of the entire map. I mean, I have vision of all of the expos except his sunken base and mine. Okay, so I'm going to start doing that now. I'm going to start spreading my overlords throughout the entire map and try to get vision of the entire map and what's going on. I should have done this a lot earlier. And so basically, like I said, here he's already lost. I'm just making ultra lists, ultra ling, and as you can see, my mineral count's really low, and just constantly keep your mineral count low. My supply is at about 110, and I guarantee his supply is lower than that, which means in Protoss versus Zerg, if the Protoss player's supply is lower than the Zerg, then you're losing, basically. So you never, if you're a Protoss player, you never want your supply to be lower than Zerg. And now I'm going to get my third base and send that Zergling back to join the army that I have in the middle. I got my Defilers done up, and I was planning on using Swarm, but at this point, I mean, I got this huge army in the middle, and there's no way he's ever going to be able to push against that with two bases. He needs his third, but I'm not letting him come out of his base to get his third, and he needed to make a decent push at one point in time, but he never did. So from here on out, a lot of Protoss players won't leave. They'll try to stay and make that one final like push. I've even seen Protoss players try to go two base carrier at this point, but I've already got Hive Tech up, and I've already got a Defilers then, so carriers aren't going to help him do anything. And if I see that coming out, all I need to do is just throw up my Spire and get, you know, Devourers, and meanwhile, while the Spire's morphing into a greater Spire, just get Scourges and get Defilers out and just attack his main, because he's not going to have anything to defend it. So here he's trying to push out again, but again, I have way too many units for him to push out against me. And I could have probably ended this game like right after I killed this army, but I mean, I prefer in late games like this to play as safe as possible, just because I've gotten to the points sometimes where you can make an attack and lose a shit ton of your units, and then as you can see, my mineral count is really low, and so you could lose a shit ton of your units, and then he could have a counter waiting for you or something like that. And the reason I have all these overlords with my units still is because late game, a lot of Protoss players, you figure, like, sometimes Zerg players figure, like, okay, I don't need my overlords here. They're just crowding up the space and not letting me give good vision on my units. But what they'll do sometimes is they'll sneak in like 2 or 3 dark